Assertions can be done on individual items, but in some cases you'll have to assert the contents of an entire list or a collection, or even a collection of interfaces and inheritance, and it can get quite complicated. How do we do that? Let's take a quick look. So I have here an existing unit test where technically I'm using a class called allPaths to do a convert and add path, and that is the thing I want to test. What does this do? Well, it actually adds a path item to a value list. Now in the so I have a list with all the values. Every time you call this, it'll add a new value to the list. Now, if I have a look at my test, I currently have it set up to act once, do a count, expect that it has to be 1, and then check just the first value. But what if I want to check the entire list? Does that mean, let's make an actual new test here. Does that mean that, yes, I can do allPaths convert, add that, and another one, and another one. Imagine that this, and we'll just duplicate this. A1, A2, A3, and we will also adjust custom path setup. Here's another cool trick, by the way. If you want it to return a different value every time it's called, you can simply add multiple returns. Now, of course, in this case, that's a bit actually. Okay, maybe I'm incorrect here. Either way, we can adjust it that instead of the string, I think I remember now. I think you can just do the entire call again, like this, and then adjust it. If you do it like that, it will actually return B1 the first time, and then B2 the second time, and so on and so on. However, let's actually go with the second thing I was about to say, the workaround. Well, not workaround, this is just a different way of doing it. Instead of saying any string, let's actually make sure that we check that it's A1, A2, and A3, and it returns B1, B2, and B3. So I have the mocking of my custom path, which if I do abbreviate path, I can now fix and say what it has to return. So here we go. Now, original path 1, 2, 3. Now remember, yes, I'm doing it now hard-coded like this. You could make a method and, you know, have the little less copy-paste work, of course, which is always a good thing. For this example now, I'm just starting off just by copy-pasting, because in this case it is actually a bit faster, as I'm only doing it 3 times. But if you were to do this 100 times or 1,000, yeah, you probably want to make a method out of this. So here we go, and then 1, 2, 3. So now I don't really have enough with my assertions. So I have my expected items, I have my original paths, but do I really need to copy paste this as well 3 times? I mean, I suppose I could say values 1, values 2, values, but there is a way to assert an entire list. One of these is by saying, with a single assert, you can do something called collection assert. So a collection assert, you can do all items are not null, unique, or you can check for equivalent, are equivalent. Are equivalent means it's not going to look at the location of where it is in a list or in a collection. It's just going to check if every item in that is equivalent. So what I can do now is, instead of having all my expected items separately, I can actually say, okay, I have a list of path items, and this is my expected. I'm going to make a new list, and now I'm going to simply add my 3 expected items to it. I could add this in any order, because with the equivalent check it will not matter. There is a different collection assert where order does matter, so you can definitely do that as well. So I'm going to use our equivalent, and I need to go with my, there we go, expected first, and now return my allPaths dot values. So this will check if everything is equivalent with a single collection assert. So with a single collection assert, you can check an entire list and look if it's the same thing. So let's have a quick look if I can actually run this test method here. There's still a problem here because I have the same name, multi. There we go. So I have a new method here, new test. So let's run this, and it's green. It's green, that's very good. Now let's see if I can make it fail. Well, should not be that difficult to make it fail. Let's change the mock. Let's have this one just return a B. And if I run it now, you'll see that it fails. The problem is, it fails and the default collection assert gives you the following message. Let me put this in Notepad++ for you. So it tells you the expected contains one occurrence of Skyline other class dependency path item. Wow, where's my mention of B or what I'm expecting to get? B1, A1, nothing is in there. So the collection assert will do what it has to do, but if it goes wrong and you want to debug it, it's going to be horrible. It's really bad. So instead of collection assert, let me give you an alternative, something we have been using in different places already. So I would definitely recommend this. Again, it's a NuGet package. So you go into NuGet package manager, go into the package for solution, and then you will browse for something called FluentAssertions. So it's a fluent way to assert. So FluentAssertions, there we go. This is the one you need, FluentAssertions. So I'm going to install that on the Quick Action 1 test. Give it a moment. There we go. Now, what does this do? Well, instead of doing collection assert are equivalent, which gives a very, very bad reply if something goes wrong, like you don't really have anything there. What you can do instead is say expected, pardon me, let's try that again. We begin with all paths.values, and then you can just write in should using FluentAssertions. So you need to use the using there, but you can now fluently speak and write how you want it to be. So all paths.values should dot be equivalent to my expected. So you can actually use this as a way to detect how everything goes. Now I do have a problem here because I need expected most likely. Excellent. So you have collection assert dot are equivalent, but it doesn't give a good reply. All paths.values dot should be equivalent to expected will give a much nicer reply. Let me show you. If I run this test, you'll notice it fails, but in the method you get immediately a lot more information. So let me copy that and put it in Notepad++ so it's a little more obvious. So it says that the fluent assertion failed. It expected item 1 to be B2, A2, but it found path item which had B and A2. Beautiful. Now you can actually debug this, and now you have an idea of what is going wrong. So fluent assertions for lists and for collections is really the way to go here. With this, you are able to quickly see what the issue is. And collection assert is a little difficult to do that because it doesn't really give you the information you are hoping to get. So fluent assertions, NuGet package, download it, and then you can use it for asserting collections, lists, arrays, all of that. You can actually use fluent assertions also for other ways, so just for single assertions, they can also be handy. It's a very, very good extension and definitely a recommendation. Thank you for watching.